You're welcome on the show. This is the Nutrition Spot. It's about time for us to start thinking of Christmas. And you know, Christmas is about having fun with friends and family. Of late, I was telling you that the World Health Organization is emphasizing that loneliness and isolation is a global threat now. So during this time of Christmas, we do not want to see anyone isolating themselves or saying they are lonely or being lonely. Make sure you socialize a lot, look out for your friends, go and be part of your families, engage in family affairs. If you have to travel with a family, do that. So I would say Merry Christmas in advance. This is the Nutrition Spot. I'm gifting a Kainga honor to have an expert, a nutritionist, Zziwa from Health Uganda. Today, just like I'm saying, we're going into Christmas, we want to see that you do not just eat anyhowly, or maybe that you shouldn't forego particular food simply because you aren't comfortable with them. So we want to throw light on food allergies and intolerances. So I welcome my guest in the studio, and then we shall get deep into our discussion tonight. You're so much welcome, Eddie.
Thank you very much, Gift. I'm delighted to be here tonight as we discuss about food allergies and intolerances.
Thank you so much. You know, the year is ending, so before we get into this discussion, tell us about how your year has been professionally and also in your social life.
Yeah, the year has been quite good. I've been able to come up with achieve a few things which I may not mention here, and I'm delighted about that. Yeah, we thank God for the progress, that we are still alive, our families, our relatives. Yeah, those are the good things that are happening in our lives, and we're always happy about them.
Thank you so much, Eddie. And what could be that Christmas message you would want to pass on to our viewers?
Our dear viewers, I would like to encourage them to stick to the usual things we've always been talking here. Let's watch our diet, even during this festive season. It's crucial that we have a careful eye as we make the food choices. Sometimes you may want to binge on food because it's the festive season, but let's remain conscious, and let's keep the core values of nutrition.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
If you're out there and then you didn't know that nutrition has core values, or in COVID, we used to say the standard operating procedure. So nutrition has core values. So keep an eye on them and do not leave them behind as you enjoy the festive season. Like I said, today we're going to handle food allergies and intolerances. Like many of us sometimes are foregoing particular foods, particular drinks, different things, simply because we feel like our bodies cannot comprehend the results after eating those particular foods. So, but for starters, let's understand what food allergies are and the food intolerances.
Yes, so food allergies are reactions of the immune system to specific proteins that are in the foods we eat.
To specific proteins?
To specific proteins that are in the foods we eat. So our immune system has the role of protecting us from harmful invaders, from germs, from pathogens, but sometimes the immune system can make mistakes. And when it makes those mistakes, that's when we get these adverse reactions, because the immune system at times may identify a protein as harmful, yet it's just a harmless substance in the food we eat. So usually you may find that, for example, when a person takes maybe peanuts, there's a specific protein in there that is supposed to be harmless, but in some individuals, the immune system reacts thinking that that protein is actually harmful. Yeah.
Okay, maybe make us understand, are they only proteins that cause these particular reactions, or because we have vitamins, minerals, and carbohydrates and fats?
Yeah. So the majority of food allergies are caused by specific proteins. It is on rare occasions, very rare occasions. For example, the rare occasions are like when you're allergic to meat. That is when you'll find that the allergic reaction is being caused by a sugar molecule. But in most cases, it's actually these proteins that are in our foods. Yeah.
So, 95, 99%, yeah, they are proteins.
They are proteins.
And now if you say that someone might react and the other person doesn't react, should we say that the allergies differ or vary from person to person?
Yes, there are a couple of allergenic foods, But it's important to note that it's only some people. If I talk about the prevalence of people who actually have these food allergies, for example, globally, around 8%, 6 to 8% of adults get food allergies. And in the children, in the children, it's around 8%. And in the adults, 2 to 3%.
2 to 3%.
Yeah.
So it's more in the children
Yeah,
than
so
in the adults.
Children are more susceptible to having allergies. And usually when people grow, they may outgrow their allergies.
Oh, it comes with age, eh?
Yeah. So there are allergies like if people are allergic to foods like milk, eggs, you'll find that when they grow older, these allergic reactions, they recover from them.
What causes that?
So usually children, their immune system is usually, like I said, food allergies are caused by the immune system. So for the children, most of them, their immune system is not yet mature enough. But as people grow older, the immune system also develops further and it's able to identify and differentiate between the harmful and less harmful substances.
Oh, yeah. Should we say, anyway, we're looking at food, but we have even other allergies. Someone will tell you, I'm allergic to dust, to fumes and all that. Yes. But then maybe a few years you see that they are not allergic anymore. Should we say that it's also the same kind of response that happens with age?
It's a similar thing. As you grow, your immune system has had so many experiences and it's more sensitized to the foods you eat, to the substances you encounter. And so it develops with time, and you may find that after some time, your allergic reaction no longer occurs. But there are some allergic reactions, for example, those who are allergic to peanuts, to tree nuts, you'll find that these allergic reactions persist into even adulthood, even old age. Yeah.
Okay, should we say that also exposure contributes to someone outgrowing particular allergies?
Yeah, true. Exposure does, but it's not. Yes, it plays a contribution to you outgrowing your allergy, but it's not always a key thing that if you're exposed, you'll actually eventually be relieved from your allergy.
Yeah. Okay, so the frequent exposure doesn't matter. Because someone will be like, today she has reacted on this meat, but we have no option in the family, we do only meat, so she has to get used to it.
No, actually, I wasn't explaining exposure in that way, because once someone if you've been diagnosed with an allergy, with a food allergy, the best thing is to try to avoid that allergy. You don't have to expose yourself to it
to get used.
With the aim of getting used to it. Yeah, because it's your immune system, and eventually it will develop or it may fail to develop. And sometimes these allergic reactions, the more you get exposed, because it's the immune system, and the immune system learns. So the first time you encounter this allergen, you may have a slight reaction, but the next time you encounter it, your reaction could even be worse than what you did get in the first place. So it's not a good thing that you expose yourself to the allergen with the aim of you encouraging your immune system to develop. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. We're looking at food allergies and intolerances. I think now we've gotten to understand what allergies are. We're going to now understand what food intolerances is about. If you're out there watching and you have any questions, the number will be over your screen. You'll be able to call or send us a message on WhatsApp. But you can also engage with us on our different social medias, especially on Facebook as Bethany TV Uganda, or you can go on our website www.bethanytv.ug. We're live on StarTimes 271. You can tell the rest of your colleagues that Bethany TV is now on StarTimes. We are on your TV app, so be able to watch us anytime, anywhere. So as we look into the food intolerances, I want to send my regards or greetings to Kobsinje. She was here winning Bethany Santa or Mugabe, and she says that Nutrition Sport is her favorite show. So thank you so much, Kobsinje. We appreciate you. I'll go back to my expert in the studio.
Yes, so food intolerances, unlike food allergies, which involve the immune system, food intolerances happen when we are deficient of certain enzymes all digestive factors in our alimentary canal. So these food intolerances happen when there is difficulty in digesting certain foods in our bodies. Yeah, for example, there are people who are intolerant to lactose. Lactose is a sugar in the milk. There are people who are intolerant to gluten. There are people who are intolerant to fructose. Yeah, so when they take in these foods, they get adverse reactions. And these reactions, they do not involve the immune system. So this is the key difference between the food allergies
and
the food intolerances. Yeah, so basically the food intolerances are usually because of the
lack of enzymes.
Yeah, either you have that enzyme in a deficient amount, you have a little amount, or you completely don't have it at all.
Oh, yeah. So you can either have it or not completely have it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. So now I think that explains the difference in terms of physiology. And now I think we could now have to understand some of the common food allergens and also the intolerances. Then we can be able to understand how do they manifest. How do I get to know that this is a food allergen or this is a food intolerance?
Yes, so the common food allergies, because of the food allergens include fish. Okay, the very common ones include cow's milk, eggs, wheat, peanuts. Then there are the tree nuts. There's almonds, hazelnuts, pistachios, Brazil nuts, cashews. Yeah, those are even wheat and soy. Those are very common allergens. When we come to the food intolerances, the most common ones are lactose intolerance. There is fructose malabsorption or fructose intolerance. Then there is also gluten intolerance. Yeah.
Okay, so if you've mentioned about the lactose, gluten, fructose, all those are enzymes?
Now for lactose intolerance, this is when there are people who, when they take milk, they get problems like bloating, like gas, abdominal pain. It can even include vomiting and diarrhea. That's an example of lactose intolerance. It happens because your body does not produce enough lactase. Lactase is the enzyme supposed to break down lactose. So when your body does not produce enough lactase, or if it does not completely produce it at all, when you drink cow's milk or any other milk that contains lactose, this milk is going to go into your gut, into the large intestine, undigested. And when it's undigested, the bacteria in the colon are going to ferment it. So during the fermentation, that's when gases like hydrogen, like methane are produced. And that's when you get the gas, the bloating, the abdominal pains. Yeah. Then the other food intolerance is fructose intolerance. That happens when fructose is also sugar. It's very common in fruits. It's also very common in processed foods. They use it as a sweetener. So for some people, they do not have, they're unable to absorb the fructose into their blood. So it remains in their gut, and the same procedure like I explained for lactose happens. The fructose is unable to be digested, so the bacteria in the gut actually are fermenting it, and then you get all these adverse reactions. Then for gluten sensitivity, there are certain people that find it, whenever they take things containing gluten, these are things like wheat, things like rye, things like barley, like oats, things like chapati. Chapati has wheat. So when they take these foods, you'll find that they will complain of digestive issues. They're either bloating, or they're having gas, or they're having constipation, or they're having diarrhea, because there is this intolerance. Your gut cannot tolerate the gluten in those foods. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You are still watching Bethany and Zziwa for Health, and this is the Nutrition Spot. We're handling food allergies and intolerances. We've gotten to understand how do The both of them differ. One is because of the immune response or system's response, and this is just because you're lacking a particular enzyme to be able to aid in the digestion of whatever you are eating. It is always important for you to get to understand and to know what your allergies are, such that you are not disturbed probably maybe in maybe a social setting or in your family. It's very, very important. So we want to look at the risk factors. What are some of the things that risk us to having these allergies? And also we shall have to understand how do we present, how do we get to know that now this is an allergic reaction or I'm having an intolerance. Back to my guest in the studio, a nutritionist, Zziwa from Healthy You. You're so much welcome once again. So we want to understand the risk factors, and then how can someone get to know that actually this is an allergy or this is an intolerance?
Yeah, so the risk factors for food allergies, one of them is age. Children are more susceptible to developing food allergies, and adults usually outgrow their allergies. Then the other risk factor is if your family members have had allergies, you're also more likely to get the food allergies. Then also if you have a certain allergy, for example, people who have asthma, they're more likely to develop food allergies as well. Yeah. Then for food intolerances, the risk factors usually people who have a certain, for example, people who have certain medical conditions, for example, those who have had surgeries, they're more likely to develop intolerances because their digestive system, maybe certain parts of the intestines have been damaged.
Yeah.
And then also alcoholism is a risk factor for food allergies because alcoholism, people who take a lot of alcohol, they have a leaky gut usually, so certain substances from their food pass into the blood before they're actually digested. And so the immune system recognizes them as harmful offenders. Then basically those are the risk factors. And then coming to the symptoms for food allergies, because these are brought about by the immune system, so these symptoms can manifest in any body organ or body system. So you'll find that, and usually these symptoms, they happen right away, usually within minutes after taking the allergenic food, unlike food intolerances, whereby the symptoms will come maybe hours after. So for food allergies, the symptoms usually include skin rashes, they can include itching, swelling of the tongue, the lips, the face, they can include hives, and abdominal discomfort, vomiting, diarrhea. And food allergies can sometimes be severe. You can get symptoms like difficulty in breathing. You can get low blood pressure. Your blood pressure can drop. You can lose your consciousness. Yeah, so that's a condition called anaphylaxis. That's when your food allergy is severe. And for food intolerances, the symptoms are usually less life-threatening. They're not as severe as the food allergies, though they still can impact the quality of your life.
Sure.
So for food intolerances, usually the symptoms are the digestive system, and they can include bloating, gas, abdominal pain, diarrhea. Yeah,
if we say, because if you say gas, bloating, abdominal pain, diarrhea, it's like we even see these very particular symptoms in other conditions. So how can someone really be able to tell? Can they do a self?
So the only way to confirm that actually have a food allergy or intolerance is after you've been diagnosed by a professional or a health worker. Because these symptoms can happen with any other medical condition. Maybe even people who have had food poisoning, they could get the same symptoms. So it's very crucial that you don't self-diagnose yourself just because you ate a certain food and now you're getting these symptoms. Maybe you're bloated, then you come to a conclusion right away that maybe I have this allergy or I have this intolerance.
So which kinds of methods do we use to diagnose them?
So usually for the food allergies, when you're with your maybe health professional or an expert, they'll first do a medical history. They will have to identify the foods you've been eating. Then they'll also do a physical examination. They'll look at your symptoms. Then there are certain tests they may do. They can do maybe a skin prick test where they prick your skin and introduce a certain food to your skin and watch out for the reaction. Just a small prick on your skin and see how your skin is going to react to that specific food that they've introduced to it. Then there are also some blood tests they could do. Yeah, so basically it's very important and crucial that you don't diagnose yourself. You have to go to a health worker and they do it for you. Same applies for food intolerances. It's not good that you eliminate a food right away from your diet just because you got a problem after eating it. It's important you first discuss with your dietitian or your health worker. They find out the food you ate, the onset of the symptoms, the duration of the symptoms. All those things will matter, and usually your health worker will ask you to give that information.
Okay, that's good if you say that we shouldn't do self-diagnosis, because after we've done that, we end up doing self-treatment, because I've seen people who say, whenever I eat this particular thing, I feel this way. So what I need to do, I need to take some tabs before I eat it such that I don't get the reaction. So if you've not gone to the hospital to be properly diagnosed, you need to, because another food might have the very exact things that are in the food that you usually react to. So I want to look at the primary strategies. What are some of the things that you can even do or start with even when you're at home and you start faced with an allergy? What is it that you can do there and then to help prevent further damage?
Yeah, so for the food allergies, the primary management strategy is avoidancy.
Oh.
Yeah, prevention is always the best way when it
you
comes
avoid.
to... Yeah, it's good to
so
avoid
if it happens for the first time, you don't repeat it the second time.
So if it happens the first time and you've been diagnosed and been told that you have this allergy, yeah, so it's always important that you identify these foods. Maybe while you're at home, keep a notebook, keep a diary of the foods you've eaten and the reactions you got. Then it's important to, if you've been advised by a health worker to avoid these foods, it's important that you also read food labels when you go out to buy food in the supermarket. Before you eat something, first find out the ingredients. Some of these ingredients have these allergens. You may find that you're buying something, but it also has eggs, it also has milk, it also has
Do they write on it that maybe if you're allergic to this, do not try this and this and that?
Yeah. If good products usually have the key allergens in bold. When you look at the ingredients, they have bolded them and highlighted them, so it's easy for you to see. Then still, it's important that you communicate your allergy to the people around you, because like I said, sometimes the allergic reaction can be severe. You can lose your consciousness. So if your neighbor knows that, yeah, this person has this allergy, it will be very easy for you to get help. And in severe cases, if there are some people who usually get...
you talked about the severe cases. Can you make us understand the manifestation in the severe cases?
Yes, so the severe cases, these are the ones where a person gets, it's a condition called anaphylaxis, and you'll find that they may be, they are losing their blood pressure is dropping, they are having difficulty in breathing, they are gasping for air. You'll find that they have difficulty in breathing, they're losing their consciousness, or their blood pressure has dropped. So when a person is in such a condition, usually they may even be helpless, they may be unable to speak. So usually you'll find that the health workers may be prescribed for them something like an EpiPen. It's a medication, it's epinephrine. This is something that even your immediate neighbor should be able to use. It's a pen they carry around. So you should, among your management strategies, make sure that maybe if you're a student at school, make sure that your friends know about it, your teachers know about it, that you're always carrying this pen. And yeah, for some people, they even carry medical bracelets. You can carry a bracelet that shows your allergy such that when you collapse, people can be able to read and see. Remember, you're unable to speak. So if someone can, maybe you have a necklace and it has something written on it.
In Uganda?
Yeah, okay. It's rare. It's really rare, but it can happen for some people.
Okay. So
Yeah.
where do you get the bracelets from?
The bracelets, just a normal bracelet. It's
And then?
you can make yourself one. You don't have to.
And then you write
purchase.
your condition there that I'm allergic to this.
Yeah, because
Every time you're moving out of home.
because the thing is, when you're around your friends, they may know about it. But if you've gone to maybe to a new place, you're there for the first time, no one knows anything about you, and they just see you collapsing. Maybe if they read on your bracelet and say, hey, this person is allergic to this, it could be a lifesaver.
I feel like, you know, like if you said that, it's like you're telling us that maybe if you are thematic or you this and that, whenever you're moving out, go with a label that I'm this. Literally, I feel like, I don't know, but maybe it's something that we can try to adopt, yeah?
Yeah, it's something we can try to adopt.
So I just get any bracelet and then I can mark it that I have this allergy.
True. Because usually when someone gets into anaphylaxis, they're unable to speak, they can't talk to you, they can't even move themselves. You just see someone collapsing and you just wondering maybe...
So how does it really help? Of course, now if you've already unconscious and all that, and then you're having that bracelet, how does it help?
So actually now it's very important that actually we educate people about these things. Because if someone has a bracelet that shows that maybe they're allergic to peanut, and this is what happens when they take peanut, and they're just in a random restaurant, they have eaten food, they don't know it's contaminated with peanuts. Okay? Something like that. So ideally that would be a lifesaver. And these pens they carry, they usually have instructions that a lay person can use. A normal person like me, who is not any other person can read and see how to use it. It can be a lifesaver, and usually because for food allergies, someone can die within just a few minutes or hours. So that's why they always carry this pen around them. Though that's for the
pen.
Yeah, it's an EpiPen.
EpiPen. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a pen.
So someone has to have it anytime, anywhere.
For people who have severe allergic reactions. They are very rare conditions, but they could be there. So it's important that that person even communicates with the people around them. If it's a student, communicate with a school. Then the other strategy is when it comes to schools and our places of work and even restaurants, it's important that people become aware of these conditions. In restaurants, there are some restaurants that have started providing allergen-free foods, allergen-free sections. They tell you that in this section, the foods that are there, they are free from soy, they are free from milk, they are free from eggs. So someone is able to use that section. And
so literally you're telling us that these conditions are not secretive, like you do not have to keep it as a secret. You need to make everyone aware that this is who I am in this regard.
True.
Okay.
And so when it comes to management, it's usually the best thing is to try to prevent the reactions from happening, because after they have happened, these symptoms you're going to require to go to hospital. There are not so many things you can do about it. Maybe you're not going to take a certain food to reverse what has happened. Once it has happened, it has happened. And if it is mild, if it's a mild symptom, maybe you can wait and recover, but if it's severe, you're going to...
Let me get this caller. Hello? Hello? Okay, if you want to call in and ask any question, the number is over your screen, 0786050762. You can call us and make us understand what is your question. It's like, hello?
Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Your names and where you're watching us from?
My name is Sharon.
You are?
Yes, and I'm watching from Mokono.
Sharon from Mukono. You're watching Bethany TV, the nutrition spot. We're looking at food allergies and intolerances. Your question, Sharon?
Yes, I just like to commend the guest in the studio on the issue of wearing bracelets when one got allergies. That's a very big issue. And I'm happy that he's he talks about it, and like he has said, I think it needs a lot of awareness raising so that people get to know about it. I come from a family of medical workers, and my mother once had a serious condition that required surgery. That she had informed us that she allergic. She had informed us that she was allergic to something. So I was able to tell the doctor that she's allergic to morphine, so she wasn't given a morphine injection. Wow. So they had to look for other alternatives like prednisolone. In the past, people would be encouraged to wear lockets, but I think lockets is not a very common thing here. But I really, really love that the guests have raised it. It's a very important. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Greetings to everyone in Mukono, and Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year. Thank you so much for watching the Nutrition Spot. Sharon has just been appreciating the fact that you've talked about us wearing bracelets.
Yes.
So
thank you, Sharon.
For easy identification.
Thank you, Sharon, for emphasizing that. Then when
we have
you come
another caller. Hello.
Yes.
You can call us on 078-6050 and 762 for any questions. If you can't call, you can send a WhatsApp message. If you can't send a message, you can go on your Facebook and put your comment or your question there. Bethany TV Uganda is the Facebook page. Yes. So.
Yes. So intolerances to food intolerances, how we manage them. For this, there are certain things we can do and reduce the intolerance. For example, we can take smaller portions of that food that you're intolerant to. For example, some people say they're intolerant to milk, but when they take a smaller portion of the milk, they survive. They don't get the symptoms. That's because maybe their body is producing little lactase enzyme, and that lactase enzyme is enough to digest the little milk you've taken in.
I can pick. Hello. Okay, we've lost you. Please, you can try to call us again. We would want to get to know what you want to ask our guest in the studio. Yes, please.
Yes, then also the way you prepare the food can can play a crucial part. Sometimes maybe if you dilute this food, like the milk, sometimes when people take this packed milk, the processed milk, without cooking it or without diluting it with water, they are allergic. But when they say that when they dilute add more water, they don't get the symptoms. So yeah, for food intolerances, usually still avoidance is good. You can try an elimination diet with the help of a dietitian. They can help you to eliminate these foods, but at the same time, recommend for you foods that will provide the same nutrients as the ones in the food you're avoiding. And that applies still to the food allergies.
It applies to the food allergies.
Yeah, so
if you talk of the preparation, like you mentioned that maybe someone might go in a restaurant and then they get a reaction simply because something was mixed in their food. How would you, maybe you can speak to someone that is into that business of, preparing food, how they're supposed to handle food such that we avoid these kinds of reactions. Someone will go in a restaurant and then after they're like, after I ate this particular food, I felt a particular way. But it's not because it wasn't what they wanted to eat, because maybe it was contaminated.
Yeah, true. So actually the restaurants and all the food industry businesses, nowadays, some of them, at least they're customer oriented. When you tell them that I'm allergic to this food, they may try to hope to accommodate you. But it's very important that they prevent cross-contamination. Sometimes people take this as a joke. They call it, maybe these people are just pretending around. They just don't want to. Sometimes even people take it as they want to prank their friends. They're like, hey, that person says he's allergic to this. Let's put it in his food and see what will happen. It's a very bad thing. And so for the restaurants, it's very important that they provide these sections where these allergic people can find something to eat, and also try as much as possible to prevent cross-contamination. The apron you've used while preparing food that contains an allergen should be different from the one you use while preparing food for the allergic person.
Okay, thank you so much. Those that are still watching us, if you have any questions, you can call us or you can text us on 078 6050 762. we're looking at food allergies and intolerances. We know sometimes it can make you very uncomfortable, especially maybe you've moved out of your usual kind of setting. You've maybe gone for a conference, you've gone for a party, for a wedding or something. Now, like I said earlier, there are some of us that do not want to forego particular foods, that even when we've been told that you're not supposed to eat or drink that particular thing. And our guest was telling us that it's good if you were told to stop consuming a particular food, you should stop. But some of us go ahead and be like, no, I cannot stop taking the meat. I like it so much. So what I should do, I should first start with maybe some cetirizine or something such that I can be able to enjoy the meal. So is it a good idea?
Just like you said, it's inappropriate, it's not good, especially if you've been diagnosed and been told that you're allergic to this food and you've been instructed to avoid it. The best thing usually is to try to avoid it by all means. And this can include, I know it can sometimes bring about anxiety and emotional stress, especially when you're going to maybe to a party, to a gathering, and you find you can't share the same food that the other people are taking. But you can try around ways, maybe you can pack for yourself some food.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You're going for a wedding and then you pack food.
Yeah, you can
It's
do
just
that
fast.
because you find that you don't know how they've prepared it behind there.
Or it's just because you're feeling insecure or you're having maybe uncertainties that it might not be prepared well.
Yeah, you don't know if they've done some cross-contamination or they have, maybe you're just eating meat, but you don't know, maybe they put some peanuts there or something could have happened along the way. So it's very important that if you've been told to avoid a certain food, it's important that you try to avoid it. But at the same time, like I said, there are usually other foods that you can use as substitutes for that food that you're avoiding.
You use them as substitute. I think personally, I've seen people that move with their packed breakfast, maybe with their packed lunch, and for some reason you might be thinking, hey, this person, what's up with them? Why would they have a container? Why would they move with food that is packed? So could it be because they're not so sure of the source of where they might get the food from?
Yeah, true. Sometimes they're uncertain, but the good thing nowadays is that people are trying to, with growing technology and the food industry is evolving, people are trying to produce gluten-free flours, people are trying to produce lactose-free milks, people are producing foods whereby these allergens have been extracted out. So for people who are allergic, you may find that they have an option of the food they could be missing out on.
Okay, someone is asking a question from Christopher that how can we control food allergies? I think we've been trying to explore and explain that, but you can help him to take him through of how best he can control the food allergies.
Yeah, so
let me first. Okay.
Yeah, so the best way is actually after you've identified these food allergies and you've been diagnosed, the best way is to try as much as possible to avoid them. And actually nowadays with growing technology, there are some other treatment methods that are being used, like oral immunotherapy, where they introduce this allergen into your diet slowly and try to see how your body reacts. They try to make your body able to tolerate that allergy. So with growing technology, maybe we shall be having better management strategies, but as per now, the best way is to try to avoid that allergic food. Yeah.
The best way
The primary
is to
way.
completely avoid.
To completely eliminate it from your diet.
Eliminate.
Sometimes you don't have to eliminate that food, but you eliminate the component that is in that food. For example, if you're allergic to milk because it has whey, you may find that there is some milk where the whey composition has been reduced. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. You said that for some reason, for some people will be like, Beck maybe said she doesn't like this because it makes her react, and then you're like, let's just give it to her and see. Or maybe people think allergies are not for African people. But if it so happens that someone is in a family setting, and a traditional kind of family setting, and maybe this person says, I'm allergic to beans, and yet it's the main source almost on a daily. So you talk to the family, that maybe families that are having people that are allergic to particular foods, and yet they are the foods that they can actually be able to manage to get for the family.
True, yeah, that's very common. And nowadays, because food allergies, traditionally, they weren't the thing here in the African setting, but nowadays people are developing these allergies.
Why? Why are we developing?
So they're developing these allergies because, okay, there are so many reasons. For example, the exclusive breastfeeding has been reduced nowadays. So the immune system is developing, is immature most of the times. You'll find that the medications we use, sometimes they make our guts leaky. So you find that these conditions are making people more susceptible to getting allergies. So it's very important. It's not a joke. It's not something we should joke about or think that it's someone. It's real, and these people, it's a real condition, and we have to support these people. We have to be there for them. If we try to find alternatives for them, yeah, that's the way to go.
Look at a school setting, omwana kugamba ali allergic ku bijanjaalo.
So in a school setting, it can be really difficult, especially because you have to prepare now a different food for this child. But parents can try as much as possible. Maybe the school management can maneuver away. Maybe this child maybe can get their food from the sanatorium or something like that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And maybe lastly, we want to see if we have any, how can I call it? Besides the support that we can get, how can someone deal with the repercussions of this particular exposure to an allergy towards their mental health and their well-being?
Yeah, so for their emotional support, it's very important that they don't keep the allergy to themselves. Let them communicate with their neighbors, let them communicate with their friends. It's not their fault that they have these allergies. Allergies are not inborn, they are acquired. So sometimes when you develop such a condition, it's not your fault. It's not because you did something wrong. Sometimes it just happens because, now for example, I didn't talk about the meat allergies, but the meat allergies sometimes happen because someone was bitten by a lawn static. So maybe they were out on vacation or they were out camping and this tick bit them and now they're allergic to meat. So it's usually circumstances that bring about these things. So we should be kind to these people, we shouldn't discriminate them, and we should try to accommodate them.
Thank you so much. I think it's about time for us to get to the end of the show. I'm going to request my guest to just give us a thorough take-home message to each one of us that is going to be enjoying Christmas and even the New Year, actually the entire festive season. We're starting maybe tomorrow. Some people are already shopping. So your take home to the people that are into the Christmas and those that are like, wadde kino sikiria kulono mu Christmas njagala nkigezeeko wakiri binagwera mu ddwaliro.
Yeah, so our dear viewers, I would like to encourage you to make wise food choices, and this includes watching your consumption, your portion sizes, watching the quality of food you eat, where it has been prepared from, and watching, you have to, the key things we always talk about, remember the fruits and vegetables, try to reduce consumption of processed foods, and yes, sometimes we have those meals that we really want to take, those meals that bring happiness to us, the meals of joy. So yes, you can take those foods, but still in moderation. Don't binge. Yeah. Basically, I'd advise everyone to, yes, it's a time to celebrate. Let us celebrate. Let's enjoy the festive season. But let's still remain conscious for our health and our well-being.
Till next week on Thursday, have the best of the night and Merry Christmas to you all.